Okay, so from here, we are going to create a voucher from the beginning to the end. One thing I need to mention before we start is on the vendor level, we have several vendors. You can set up, you are going to voucher what? The appointment time, items, which is the purchase order, or the expenses. Currently, we're going to voucher everything, which means if you have a PO, you're going to pay your provider the money you set up on PO. And if you have appointment for this vendor, you are also going to pay this vendor for the time they spent on that appointment. So think about this maybe to avoid double billing or double invoicing, maybe you need to uncheck this little box and only keep this one for the PO. But anyway, in our today's demo, I'm going to keep three of them and I'm going to show you how it looks like. So first, I'm going to create a new job. I'm going to choose a customer and all the other things, it's not important. The only important thing is I'm going to select a service provider, which is our old friend, and I'm going to save it. And then the second thing is for me to schedule an appointment for this service provider. I'm going to pick up a random service code, and then this is the date. Okay, so we have an appointment. I'm going to finish this appointment very quick. So we have a 2 hours appointment. So total hours are 2 hours. Complete this appointment. So if you go to the rate, you can see that our cost is 140, which means we're going to pay our provider 140 for their 2 hours labor. And then we have a purchase order with them. Make sure you have the correct resource, and also you have miscellaneous items. So the cost, let's assume it's 555. Price is 777. And then I'm going to have a purchase order, select who is our vendor, save it. Okay. Location, save it, and then commit this item so that a purchase order is going to be created. And on the purchase order level, you are going to approve that. To approve that, it's 2 clicks, receive and fulfill. That's it. Okay, ignore this voucher button. It's not going to do anything. I'm going to hide that. And then here on the job level, you have an appointment, 2 hour appointment, which means $140 to pay your provider. A part and $555 to pay your partner. And then if you want, you can add an expense as well. I'm going to add one to show you the whole picture. And cost, let's say, is 123. Unit price is 123 as well. And if you check this little box for reimbursable, then you are going to pay your vendor, your provider, this amount of expense dollar. All right, so in total, we have, let's come here. So in total, we have our labor, 140. We have our PO, I think it's 555. We have our expense, 123. So in total, our voucher should be 140 plus 555 plus 123 equals to 818. Okay, there are two ways to create this voucher. The first one is we're going to complete this job and then close it. Once it's closed, a voucher will be created. Another one is if you want to create a voucher while you're still in this job, before you close it, you can use billing details, and there is a button called Create Voucher. It's basically doing the same thing. It just allows you to create a voucher before a job is closed. Maybe you need it, maybe you don't need it, but now we're going to try this create voucher button. And when you create a voucher, you're going to select who is your vendor. Most of the time, it will be only one vendor, but in some special situation when you have two different provider for the same job, then you may need to select this two times because vendor A they need their own voucher, and then vendor B they need their own voucher as well. And once you save it, you can see that it disappeared. It will not show you a voucher at this moment, but you will be able to see the voucher here. I remember it's at this place. I'm going to refresh. All right, so this is the voucher we created, and the total cost is $818, which is exactly as what I put here. And think about this, are you going to pay your provider labor hours plus the PO amount you send them? If you are only going to pay them the PO uh, cost, then on the vendor level, you may need to think about this checkbox. Okay, so that's it for today's demo.